What happens after we take our last breath? Is there a moment of silence, a void, or something beyond comprehension? The idea that death is merely a doorway rather than an end has existed for thousands of years. But what truly occurs in the space between one life and the next? Recent declassified documents, testimonies from those who have experienced near-death states, and centuries-old esoteric traditions suggest that the time between death and rebirth is anything but empty. Instead, it is filled with movement, encounters, and decisions that shape what comes next. The shocking part: some of these findings indicate that the process is not random, nor is it entirely within our control. There are forces at play, ancient mechanisms operating beyond the physical world, that guide, test, and even manipulate souls before they are placed into a new life. And the implications of this are both fascinating and terrifying. What if you were never meant to return? What if the in-between state is far longer and far more complex than anyone realizes? And what if some memories of this space are deliberately erased before rebirth? Let's uncover the hidden truths about what happens after death and the secret forces that determine your next life. 1. The consciousness exit. Why the last thought matters. One of the most worrying discoveries about death is that the moment of transition is not passive. Instead, what happens in the first few seconds after leaving the body is crucial. Ancient teachings and modern reports suggest that the final thoughts at the moment of death dictate the initial trajectory of the consciousness. Those who pass away in fear, regret, or attachment may find themselves trapped in a state of confusion, unable to move forward. In contrast, those who die with clarity or understanding seem to transition more smoothly into the next phase. Some declassified government studies on near-death experiences have uncovered chilling patterns. Many individuals who were resuscitated after clinical death reported feeling pulled into an unknown space, experiencing overwhelming emotions linked to their final moments. Their surroundings seemed to shift based on their mental state. Some described moving toward light, while others were consumed by darkness or even trapped in familiar but distorted versions of their past. If this is true, then death is not an automatic passage. The quality of a person's final thoughts could determine whether they move on or become stuck in a limbo-like state. But what exactly is this state, and why do some never escape it? 2. The review, a forced reflection of every moment. A startling number of individuals who have undergone near-death experiences describe being forced to relive every action, thought, and emotion from their lives, all at once. This phenomenon, sometimes called a life review, is not simply a memory replay. It is something far more intense. According to multiple accounts, the review is not just about watching one's own actions. It is about feeling the effects of those actions on others. If you caused someone pain, you experience their suffering. If you showed kindness, you feel the warmth that others received from you. The review happens in an instant, but contains an incomprehensible depth, as if time ceases to exist. Here's the disturbing part. Some individuals claimed that the review was not optional. It was described as being imposed by an external force, something watching, something measuring. Could this be a form of judgment? Or is it a necessary step in preparing for the next life? If this is a universal experience, then it raises an alarming question. Who or what is overseeing this review? Is it a natural process of consciousness, or is there something controlling it? 3. The interrogation, encounters with unknown entities. Many people assume that the afterlife is an open space where souls are free to move as they wish. But reports from those who have experienced the in-between suggest otherwise. Instead of roaming freely, many individuals describe being confronted by entities immediately after death. Some describe these entities as guides or mentors, while others claim they were interrogators, forces that seemed intent on extracting information. These figures often appear in varying forms, from luminous beings to shadowy figures, and their presence is almost always commanding. Some questions have been repeatedly reported, questions such as, "Did you learn what you were supposed to?" Or, "Do you understand what must happen next?" Or, "Are you prepared for the consequences of your choices?" Many claim that the beings already knew the answers. They weren't asking to receive information. They were asking to confirm something. But what? And more importantly, who are these entities, and what authority do they have over a soul's next destination? 4. The holding phase, why some souls remain stuck. Not all souls immediately move on after death. Some remain in a state of suspension, unable to transition into their next life. But why? One possible explanation comes from ancient traditions that suggest that not every soul is ready or even allowed to reincarnate right away. Some need time to recover from trauma, while others are held back due to unfinished business. But in certain cases, souls are deliberately detained. There are countless reports of individuals encountering strange barriers, endless landscapes, or repetitive loops in the after-death state, as if they were inside a constructed space rather than an open realm. Some suggest that these are self-imposed, created by unresolved emotions, but others believe that certain souls are held back intentionally, perhaps as punishment or for reasons unknown. If this is true, then the space between death and rebirth is not a free-flowing passage. Instead, it is a controlled system, one that decides who moves on and who remains in stasis. But the real question is, who or what is in charge of this system? 5. The selection process. Who decides the next life? Reincarnation is often viewed as a random or karmic process, where souls return based on past actions. But what if the next life is not chosen by the individual, but assigned? Some accounts suggest that souls are given a limited number of options for their next incarnation, as if selecting from a predetermined set of lives. In rare cases, individuals who remember the in-between state describe being pressured into choosing a certain path, as if their reincarnation was being guided by an unseen force. This raises a possibility. Is reincarnation truly about spiritual growth, or is it part of a larger system of control? And if so, who benefits from keeping souls on this endless cycle? The reality is that the time between death and rebirth may be the most crucial phase of all. It is a phase of evaluation, manipulation, and in some cases, restriction. What happens in this space does not seem to be a passive transition, but an orchestrated process with rules that most of humanity remains unaware of. In rare cases, individuals who claim to remember their time between lives describe being guided toward a new existence rather than freely choosing it. Some recall being shown different lives, as if browsing options, while others felt they were assigned a specific path based on unknown criteria. But who controls this process? Some religious traditions suggest that karma determines a person's next life, while others claim that higher beings or spiritual gatekeepers oversee the process. But declassified government studies on past life memories have hinted at something even more unnerving: the possibility that some souls are placed into new lives according to an external agenda, not personal choice. Could there be a structured system managing reincarnation? If so, what is its purpose? Is it designed to help souls grow, or is there another reason why we are continuously sent back? And more importantly, can a soul ever reject its next life? So the final question remains: are we truly in control of our own reincarnation, or is someone else making those choices for us? 6. The wandering phase. Do souls roam between lives? Some believe that rebirth happens immediately after death, but reports from near-death experiences and ancient traditions suggest otherwise. Many accounts describe a wandering phase where souls exist in a detached state before they are placed into a new body. This phase varies in length, with some claiming it lasts moments, while others suggest it could extend for years, even centuries. What exactly happens during this time? Some describe floating through familiar places, observing loved ones, or even attempting to communicate with the living. Others report being drawn toward unknown landscapes, sometimes resembling vast empty spaces, endless corridors, or strange cities filled with other wandering souls. In some cases, individuals claim to have witnessed clusters of souls moving together, as if waiting for something. But why does this happen? If rebirth is automatic, why do some souls linger while others transition quickly? Some theories suggest that the wandering phase allows souls to detach from their previous identity, clearing away emotional ties that might interfere with their next incarnation. Others believe that certain souls get lost or refuse to move on, either due to confusion, unfinished business, or fear of what comes next. This raises an unsettling question. Is every soul meant to reincarnate, or do some never return? If wandering can last indefinitely, could some souls remain in this state forever, unseen and forgotten? 7. The memory wipe. Why do we forget? One of the greatest mysteries of reincarnation is why most people do not remember their past lives. If we have lived before, why don't we retain those experiences? The answer may lie in what happens between death and rebirth. Many who claim to recall past lives describe an intervention before reincarnation, where memories are intentionally erased. Some say it happens gradually, like fading dreams, while others suggest it is a forced process, something done by unknown beings or through a natural law that wipes the mind clean before entering a new body. But why erase these memories? Some theories suggest that remembering past lives could interfere with the new one, creating emotional confusion or preventing personal growth. Others believe that the forgetting is deliberate, a way to ensure that souls remain trapped in the cycle of rebirth without realizing what's happening. If memories were never erased, would we still willingly reincarnate? Or would we rebel against the system, refusing to participate in something we never truly agreed to? The fact that past life memories do emerge in rare cases raises a troubling thought. What if forgetting is not a natural part of the process, but a designed mechanism to keep us from questioning it? 8. Can someone stop the cycle of rebirth? If someone's past life was filled with suffering, and their current life feels no different, does that mean their next life will follow the same pattern? Or is there a way to break the cycle? This question has haunted philosophers, mystics, and even intelligence agencies studying consciousness. If reincarnation is real, then the idea of being endlessly recycled into different lives without memory or control can be terrifying. Some believe this cycle is a natural process, while others suggest it's an imposed system, something that traps souls in an existence they never chose. But is there a way to escape it? Many spiritual traditions claim that liberation is possible. Buddhism and Hinduism describe a concept called moksha, or nirvana, a state where a soul becomes free from the cycle of death and rebirth. According to these teachings, suffering in life is caused by attachment to desires, to fears, to unresolved emotions. If someone can break free from these attachments, they might escape the cycle entirely. But the challenge is, most people don't even remember their past lives. How can someone work toward liberation when they have no recollection of the mistakes they need to correct? Some theories suggest that lucid dreaming, deep meditation, and near-death experiences can momentarily lift the veil, revealing glimpses of past lives and the path forward. But what if someone wants to stop reincarnation entirely, not just achieve a better life next time? Some researchers studying near-death experiences claim that people see a light after death and feel an overwhelming pull toward it. But what happens if someone resists? Some believe that refusing to enter the light could break the cycle, allowing a soul to move beyond the reincarnation trap. Others suggest that conscious intention at the moment of death, a strong, unwavering decision to step outside the cycle, could be the key. The real question is, if reincarnation is a process controlled by forces beyond us, is it truly possible to opt out? Or are we destined to return, no matter what? The space between death and rebirth is not empty. It is filled with decisions, evaluations, and forces that few understand. What we do in life may shape what happens after death, but beyond that, there are greater mechanisms at play, ones that suggest that the cycle of life and rebirth is not as simple as we once thought. And if the truth of this process has been hidden from us, what else are we not being told? If you have made it this far, let us know what you think in the comment section below. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.